What is up, Wizards fans? So the bubble is over. It is done for the Wizards. Thank goodness. We finally came out with a W. It's about time. We almost went 0-8. We almost went 0 in the bubble, which I really thought we were. I thought we were going to lose this game. Actually, I didn't think we were going to lose this game. You know, of course, they sat Jaylen Brown. They sat Jason Tatum. And they sat Marcus Smart, they sat Kemba Walker, they sat Gordon Hayward. They basically sat down all of their starters, and they let their third-string guys play or second-string guys play, which our team is kind of made up. It basically is made up of second-string, third-string guys. I mean, Troy Brown Jr. is a more of a six-man for this roster when Bradley Beal is there and John Wall is there. He's more of a six-man for this roster. And Thomas Bryant, he does start, but typically – I think it would be better suited for him to be more of a six-man, or for us to bring in a more of a defensive-minded big man, or not a defensive-minded big man, but I feel like Thomas Bryant would be better in that six-man role, kind of like a Montrezl Harrell for the Clippers, where he's a scoring big. And I think Thomas Bryant is very talented. I think he can score as a big man. Now, his rim protecting is not his thing, and I think he's getting better at it. He had a huge block tonight. And I think he's getting better defensively, but I think for us to be a championship contender or a playoff contender, I think we should, if we can draft James Wiseman, I definitely would. And I would have Thomas Bryant be the sixth man that's scoring energy big off the bench. And he would at least get 25 to 30 minutes per game, at least, because he just brings that energy. He has to play. Thomas Bryant was the MVP of this bubble for the Washington Wizards. Rui had his moments towards the end. He was inconsistent, but he had his moments. He had 23 against the Bucks last night, where Giannis had that freaking that Bush League headbutt, where he should have been suspended more games, in my opinion. And Rui had a slow start, had like 8 points, 9 points, and then he picked up against the Pelicans that had 23 or 20 points, and then he had 11 against the I can't remember who he played, and then against the Bucks he had 20 or 23 points. So Rui got better, I thought, towards the end. Jerome Robinson was a big surprise for me. He was a huge surprise. He was averaging at least 10 points per game in the bubble. He was a bright spot. He was a scorer. He was kind of like the T.J. Warren surprise for the Washington Wizards, where he could just score and get a bucket. There were times in the fourth quarter we were just giving the ball to Jerome Robinson, and we were just saying ISO or set a screen for him and do his thing, go ahead and score. Troy Brown Jr. improved. He played well in the bubble. He was flirting with the triple-double a couple games. Woke up and just got a triple-double. He was flirting with a triple-double a couple games. So Troy Brown impressed me. He played really well. He was handling the ball pretty well. Shabazz Napier had some bright spots here and there. Ish Smith is just a warrior. I love him as a backup point guard for John Wall. I can't wait to see Ish Smith come back. But about tonight, Troy Brown Jr. played well, had 17 points. Thomas Bryant was dunking everything, hitting threes, scoring with his back to the basket, facing up. I loved what Thomas Bryant did in the whole bubble. I was impressed by Thomas Bryant. He had a double-double one game. I was very impressed by Thomas. Like I said, he's the MVP of this bubble for the Washington Wizards. 26 points, 9 rebounds for him, a couple dunks, and finishing strong in the paint for the Wizards. A lot of energy. He looked like he was in good shape. He's running the floor, and I love that about Thomas Bryant. I'm excited to see him play with John Wall and Bradley Beal next year. I'm very excited to see him do that. And I'm trying to think who else played there. Jerome Robinson, Troy Brown Jr. Isak Bonga is a G League player, in my opinion, but he showed flashes here and there. Mo Wagner struggled a little bit here and there. Who else on the roster? Admiral Schofield, he has a long way to go. I love Schofield. I love his potential and his strength, but he has a little ways to go. I'm trying to think who else. Shabazz Napier. Who else on the roster? Jarian Grant was okay. He was a good feeling guy. He's not bad. He's a local guy, DMV guy. Went to high school in the area. But he's I don't see him being on the roster next season. The guy AP, who's 7'2", he finished around the rim a little bit, but he's a developmental guy. They really got to develop him. There's just a lot of G League guys and a lot of young developmental talent on this roster. Scott Brooks is still in question. This is a make or break year for Scott Brooks coming up in the 2021 or 2020, the 2021 season, whatever season we have next season. This draft is huge. This free agency is huge. This is a make or break year for John Wall and Bradley Beal coming up. It's a make or break year. It really is. If they do not make the playoffs in the next season, I'm not going to say 2021 or 2020. I don't know what year we're going to have a season. They're talking about having a bubble once again. But this is a make or break year for John Wall and Bradley Beal. I see if they don't make the playoffs next year, with a healthy John Wall, with a healthy Bradley Beal, bringing back Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura, who played well, who in my opinion should be first team all rookie for this season, averaging 13 points and 5 rebounds per game, might actually be 6 rebounds per game. This roster, and say they add a big in the draft or in free agency that can help rim protect, then it's probably time to break it up and trade one or the other, or fire Scott Brooks. Something huge has to be, a big move has to be made by Ted Leonsis, either a firing of Scott Brooks or Tommy Shepard has to make a big move, whether he's going to fire Scott Brooks or break up John Wall and Bradley Beal. Like I said, I want to give him one more year and see what happens with that. But like I said, I like the bubble. I feel like I'm probably forgetting somebody. Jerome Robinson, Jarrett Uthoff hit a couple shots here and there in the bubble. But yeah, once again, I mean, they were just overmatched. We didn't have any veteran talent because Bradley Beal didn't come to the bubble. Davis Bertans didn't come to the bubble. So we just didn't have much veteran talent. A lot of the guys were 23 or younger. Thank goodness that was Jan Mahimi's last game in a Wizards uniform, so I'm happy for that. Sayonara, peace, get out of here. I'm so happy Jan Mahimi's contract is getting off the books, so that's great for this roster. And with cap space, we don't have a lot of cap space. We have a lot more cap space than what we did in the previous years when we had Otto Porter on the books, Markieff Morris on the books, and Marcin Gortat on the books. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room. We still have the huge contract with John Wall and the huge contract with Bradley Beal, and of course we want to sign Davis Bertans, who is not going to get a max deal, but he's going to get a good deal. And then the lottery, we have the 9th best odds. The lottery is August 20th. So that is next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't wait for that. Should be lit. And, if we get a top 3 pick, then hopefully we can get James Wiseman because we need a big. I really don't think we should get LaMelo Ball because we already have a point guard in John Wall. Anthony Edwards is more of a shooting guard. I would pass on him. I don't think he really fits this roster. And I think best case scenario for us would be either James Wiseman or Obi Toppin out of Dayton. So don't forget Papa John's is 50% off because the Wizards actually won a game in the bubble. And this was more of a developmental league. This was more of a development time for the team. Like I said, bringing in Jarrett Uthoff, bringing in Jerian Grant, AP, Admiral Schofield, all these guys played. Most of these guys played on the go-go. Jonathan Williams had 5 points and 16 rebounds tonight. He was huge. He was a starter tonight. Rebounded was huge. He was really boarding like Dennis Rodman. So Ish Smith, once again, just an unsung veteran, great veteran leader, scored well, was consistent, and played defense here and there. So it was rough to watch. A lot of the games were at like 4 o'clock and at really weird times, while I was working or just getting off work. So I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and watch most of the games. And then most of the games we were losing by at least 8 to 10 points. And there were some games where we were actually in. The Suns game was actually a winnable game. That was the first game of the bubble season. I thought we definitely could have won that game. There were some other games here and there. The Pelicans game is a game we should have won because Zion didn't even play. And the Pelicans weren't even good in the bubble. So I thought we should have put up a better effort in that game. Those are the only games that I was really disappointed in. Other than that, I didn't see us beating the Bucks. Even though Giannis got ejected, I just didn't see us beating the Bucks. And there were some other teams that we played that I was like, yeah, we're just overmatched. The other teams just have better talent. So that's why I can't really say, hey, just fire Scott Brooks immediately because the roster that we're putting out there. And I really wanted Garrison Matthews to be in the bubble. I was really disappointed about that. And then them trading away Jordan McRae, that kind of hurt because I thought he would have done really, really well in the bubble. I think Jordan McRae could have did some similar things to TJ Warren because Jordan McRae Jordy Buckets had a couple of games where he had 30 points against the Heat and some other games where he had 30. Garrison Matthews put up 30 one time. So we just needed some more shooters in the bubble. And I think we could have at least won at least 3 games. We could have surprised some people. We could have at least won that Pelicans game. Or maybe somehow we could have surprised the Suns in that first game. But shout out to the Suns for being 8-0. So you guys let me know what you guys think about the bubble. What free agents do you guys want to see us go after in the offseason? And who do you guys want to see us draft? Is there anybody else other than LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, or James Wiseman, or Obi Toppin in your list? I know some people want Isaac Okoro because our defense is trash and we need some better defenders. And Killian Hayes, the point guard from overseas, he's not bad. And Onyinye Oyakwe, I'm probably butchering his name. He's from USC. He played with LaMelo Ball in high school at Chino Hills and went to USC for college. And he is a freshman, very athletic, big, strong, big. He's compared to Bam Adebayo. That's who I want to draft. If we do not get a top 5 pick or a top 6, really, if we don't get a top 5 pick, I want to go with that guy because we need we need a rim protector, somebody who can finish around the rim and rebound and help this team badly in the paint. So, all right, y'all. Hail to them Wiz. Peace.